Well, hello there, everybody, and this is Auntie. Let's get into our review of 90 Day Fiance Season 12, Episode 12. So, help me, God. So, I'm going to cover these people one by one. If this is your first time being here, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. To all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and helping me to get to one person more to 1,000 subscribers. That is my goal for this year, and not because I'm trying to use you to reach a goal, because I'm trying to use you to love me. Okay? And to all my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, I just want to thank you all so much for your continued support. So, y'all, let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. So, the first couple that I want to talk about tonight, let's see, is Catie and Josh. So, Catie is at home with her parents, and it is Easter weekend, and of course um Josh is with her. Now, what I did not know and what we found out this episode was that Josh things has not he is, does not have any possession of his things. The only thing that he has acquired basically is the clothes on his back. His things are still at customs. They were supposed to be getting it back, but Catie has been the one who has been getting the text messages and the information update on his things. And she treats it like everything else, like it's nothing. She, failed to tell him that he had a window of time in which he needed to pick it up. And she just really doesn't care. I mean, this girl is out of control, and I don't know. Recently, she had some things that was going on with the I think it's a NOCD, her and Josh, and they came out, to bash um one of the companies, and they chose the wrong one. Did I upload those video clips? No, I did not. I'm telling you, I be trying. No, I did not pull it up. Anyway, I'll do a separate video where I'll talk about, what her and Josh have been doing on the internet. Then now there are also rumors that are going around saying that the two of them are not together. I don't believe it, because when I watched him on TikTok give his little summation and his rebuke, I felt like they were still together. Anyway, he's like, these are my things. She is not giving him information, and the information she's giving him is last minute. And he says, you don't care anything about my things. But he defends her. So I'm just like, shut up, dude. Like, really. And, a lot of times when I see them, and I don't know how you all feel about it, but when I see them on TikTok and in different videos by content creators, it makes me just despise them more and more. Anyway, she's, having Easter dinner. The parents prepare Easter eggs for them to go out and hunt for and everything. He gives her a color, he gives him a color, and they come back in. He has made these rolls that he has been talking about for quite some time. And they sit at the table and they start talking religion. And they're basically telling him the only way for him to get to heaven is for him to choose their religion. And there is no other pathway for him to go. He is basically an atheist, okay? Doesn't believe in religion or anything. And so Catie asks, if I'm in heaven, will he be in hell? The next couple that I want to talk about, oh no, I don't talk about them. I just don't. I'm not interested. So the next couple I want to talk about is Debbie and Mido. Now, the last time that we saw them, she had taken him to a chapel, and she was telling him that this would be a great place for the two of them to have their wedding. And so, of course, Mido tells her he needs to go back home, and he doesn't find himself fitting in with, being with her in this, I guess, in the US of A. And he threatens, of course, for the 75th time that he's going to go home. And of course, we see her running out of the building. She is in despair. She is crying. She has just absolutely lost her daggone mind, right? And so he comes out and he has, one of those like the little sling backpacks. I don't know what you call them. And he tells her, he pulls out a ring, and he is trying to get Debbie's attention. Debbie is crying hysterically. No, she's telling him no, and everything. And he just can't get Debbie to turn around. He tries to get down on his knee, and that doesn't work. And so he takes the ring, he puts the ring on the ground, and he goes over to Debbie, who at first is fighting him. And then after, she settles a little bit into his arms, he's able to turn her around, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he has a ring on the ground. He goes and runs in front of the ring and presents her with the ring. That really happened. That really happened. And Debbie says, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." And she takes the wedding, he doesn't really propose to her. He said he had the ring for a while. The ring still had the tag on it. The little circle tag that be in the jeweler, or like in a pawn shop, and it tells you, this one was this, and now it's, $139 that was still on it and everything. According to him, he done had this ring for a while, and he was looking for the right time and right place. But he thought that breaking her heart, devastating her, having her run hysterically out of a wedding chapel was the right time and the right place. And he says, "Got you." Oh, I got you. But it's unfortunate because when you're a desperate woman, you'll take anything. So of course he puts the ring on her finger, and he gives this speech on how he and Debbie are one of a kind. I was like, this is not Annie. This is not, he really passed this over for Debbie as a joke. And Debbie accepted it, even though she is on the ground crying. She is hysterical. Her heart is broken. And within an instant, with a ring, she's in his arms. He says, "Can you marry me?" She said, "Say it," because he never said it. There are only two things that this older woman wants from this young guy. She wants a proper proposal, and she wants him to tell her after 6 years that he loves her. Now, he says, "Can you marry me?" He didn't say, "Will you?" Yes, she can, but should she? She accepts that. She tells him to say it in his language, translated, say it, in his language. And he does, and she's happy. Let me move on before I say the cruelest thing, and y'all possibly won't like me anymore. The next couple that I want to talk about is Marrisa and Edward. Now, as we all know, there is an imbalance in this relationship, and the imbalance is her finances. Marrisa has been on social media trying to convince us that the things that she is saying about Edward is not what she means. She doesn't mean all the things that she's saying about him. She don't mean that. What she meant to say was what she thought that she had said, and we heard incorrectly, was this is an old cougar woman who went on vacation and brought a live souvenir back. This is what this is. And now the souvenir is a burden to her. The souvenir that she brought back that was alive and needs to eat, poop, live somewhere is not working like the instrument that she really wants. So she has spent episode after episode after episode, in my humble opinion, tearing this man down to the ground, saying that she didn't say what she said when we absolutely have heard her. In this episode, she's at Kleinfield, which is where she was employed, because rumor has it they fired that tail. That's the rumor. Don't know how true it is. It has not been verified, but allegedly she's been fired. She's at Kleinfield. Two of her girlfriends meet her there. She wants to show them the wedding dress. Now, as we all know, last week they were in the company of friends of the family, businessmen, financial advisors. She had told him during that event that he did not need to talk about baseball. She did not want him to talk about that. She doesn't want them to know that there's nothing else that Edward can contribute to the conversation. Edward himself says these are the same people that I used to wait on at the hotel, and now I'm hanging with them. Edward, the first husband, and already told you, you ain't going to be able to get in. Not like you think. That's Marrisa has been backing off on social media, indicating that she's just Jenny from the block. And she does not have this these rich parents, not rich, wealthy parents, influential parents. She didn't come from that family. She just Jenny from the block. But I could have sworn in the very beginning, she talked about how affluent her family was. Moreover, so did her ex husband, who said that no matter what, he could not fit in. But now she is backpedaling off of it. Okay, so we move on. We say, okay, we're going to clean the slate, Marrisa, and we're going to just go off today. Well, today, she meets her girlfriends downtown at the Kleinfield. She comes out with this wedding dress on that she could have worn and really looked cute in probably about 30 years ago. Now, I ain't one who gonna judge a woman on her size, her age. I'm an older woman myself. I ain't gonna judge you on that, but I'm gonna judge you how you carry yourself. You come out of there and you looking like somebody who could have worn that, like I said, 25, 30 years ago. While the dress was cute, it was just so, it made her look very immature and wanna be, I want to be 20, 25 again. And I just was like, God, that dress, it doesn't do anything for her. And then it was like a corset, a corset here, and it went down into, like a fish tailed type of gown at the bottom. And then it had a choker on it. And I was like, what does the dress want to do? What was that? Was this to hide the wrinkles in her neck? The choker was the choker to hide wrinkles? The dress wasn't, did nothing for her, and her girlfriend was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I said, okay, I guess you had to be there. I guess you have to see it in person. I don't know. But the dress did not fit her circumstances, or her personality. Because she has proven to me, in my humble opinion, every episode that she's an old woman with an old frame of mind who went on vacation and brought back a live souvenir. That's just my opinion about how she's been carrying herself. So she sits down with her girlfriends where this should be a glorious time. And what does she do? Criticize Edward. How she needs her alone time. How she wants him to be here and take care of himself. Now, he's here on a K1 visa. He cannot work. He cannot do anything. He is like her, and where's her kids? But anyway, I digress. He can't do anything. He can't travel without her. Like basically, he can't do anything unless she helps him. Now, I don't know how much money he has brought over here, but for her to say, I want him to be independent and not under me all the time and not rely on me, Marrisa, what are you thinking though? I don't get it. But then you want to come on social media and tell us that you said something different. She tells her girlfriends that she's 75% convinced that she wants to marry him, and nobody can be at 100% that they're sure that they want to marry somebody after 45 days. So her girlfriend was like, wait a minute, hold up, back up. You've been dating him for 2 years. Yeah, but he's over here. He's always in my face. He's always, and I just want him to, man up. Of course, he's less than a man for her because he hasn't fixed the fence. And what he did do and tried to do with what he had wasn't sufficient. Nothing he does is sufficient. Nothing he does is acceptable. Everything that he does, he's doing as a little boy. But isn't that what you might be attracted to? Because why would you bring him over here if this wasn't what you were attracted to? And maybe I'm asking for reality. But no one has said anything under her comments that she is not created for herself, because this is showing the authentic her, in my opinion. What we're seeing on the screen is who Marrisa is. Marrisa is probably getting so much backlash at how she's treating him. She has to come out every week and try to say, we did not hear what she said. What she intended and what she meant to say was, I'm a kind person. I don't see him underneath me. But everything you just said to your girlfriends, to your mom's family, to the friends at the barbecue. Everything you've said since he's landed here on U.S. soil has been emasculating, has made me think that you feel like he's a foreigner who just wants to suck you dry of your energy, your resources, and your time. That is what I'm picking up. That is what you have been. That's my opinion. I'm just tired. I don't know if this is what I want to do. Last night I left and I was in New York. I just needed my time. But he texted me and I texted him back and he was all right, you good, have a good night. And I know that he said it sarcastically, but I just need my own long time. Tell him, baby, I need a couple of days to unwind. If anybody understands that, I do, because I'm an introvert. And I know when I feel completely overwhelmed, but I am a communicator, so I'm going to tell you. I need a little bit of time. Just give me an hour. Give me a day. Give me for forever. She doesn't articulate to him. And I think it's because she thinks that he is supposed to read her mind and serve her like she's at the hotel in the DR. I may be wrong with my assessment, but I think that she sees him as a servant to her. And she sees him, this is what I'm getting off, this is my opinion. She sees him as a servant to her to fulfill her actual needs. But beyond that, there's nothing else going on with the man. Her girlfriend flat out told her, look, if you are not sure that you want to do this, you don't need to do it. The other girlfriend said, look, either you like him or you don't. And I think that she gets pleasure. In my opinion, there's a certain way that she holds her body. I think she gets pleasure out of making her girlfriends feel like, oh my God, poor Marrisa, she's carrying this whole It's just like it's a pleasure thing for her to tear this man down on TV and go on Instagram and try to fix it. We're not buying it. So Edward reaches out to her and tells her, okay, I'm going to come to New York. He gets to New York. She's waiting for him. He comes up on her. She said, whatever. Oh my God. She said to the man, as soon as she saw him, whatever it is, it must be important for you to take me away from all of my important things and my important appointments and my important life. It must be really important to pull me away, as busy as I am. I said, what the is this? She is going to make sure that that man knows you revolve around me. Your whole life is about me. You took me away from my important life to come and have a conversation with you. Marrisa, are you serious? He's telling her that the way that she has been acting, he wants affection. It ain't the point for him that you have to go to work. He understands that he's going to be gone for 3 or 4 days. But before he go, can he get some affection? The look on her face, she was in shock, because I know she was thinking, how dare he check me and tell me that in front of these cameras? How dare he? She said, he said that he's going to come here and say something, talk to me about something. Well, I guess it's my turn to tell him that I'm second guessing this relationship. She's a tit for tat, and she wants to make sure that she does everything, these are my opinions, to belittle him and make him feel as small as she possibly can. Every time the cameras are in her face. When her girlfriend said, well, why you want to marry him? She said, it ain't for the money. Who says that? It sure isn't for his money. But today and tomorrow, she'll be backpedaling. That's not what she meant. This is a joke that Edward and I do all the time. We play like this all the time. I didn't mean it that way. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. You meant exactly what you said. He told her that he was not satisfied with her and it was unacceptable for her to not give him what he needs in a relationship. And now you know what she's going to do? Threaten. She's going to threaten, I'll send you back. How dare you approach me about what you need? What about what I need? I'm the big boss in charge. I'm the head bitch in charge. That's who I am. That's who I am. The only thing that she wanted was for him to come over there and serve her. Then you don't have to marry him to do that. Just fly him over there every once and again. But to belittle the man, and then I have seen him on TikToks and stuff and like that, and I think he's arrogant all by himself. So I would have let him play his game because I can't stand watching him talk like he, Mr. Big Shot. But guess what? When you hang around people like Marrisa, that's how you are. Let him show who he really is. We haven't even had an opportunity to see whether Edward did just come over there for her money and for her connections because she's so nasty to him and belittles him and treats him like he is nothing. Only thing we see is her. We don't even get to see what his real motive is because now we're all looking at him like he's a victim. And he very well could be like Pedro and the other one, I can't remember his name. He very well could be like them. But because her sins are rising to the top, we can't see his. We don't know what kind of character Edward really got. And it may be editing. I don't know. But we see, don't we all? We see. The next person that I want to talk about with, big B energy is Mallorie. Now, Mallorie, at first I like Mallorie, but now Mallorie getting on my nerve. So last week she was talking about the prenup, right? And I think that these people have to be very special. But anyway, I digress. Mallorie decides that she's going to go and get a wedding dress. And all the truth comes spilling out of who Mallorie really is, in my humble opinion. Mallorie done been lying. She goes and get a wedding dress. She knows that, she's a big girl. She was talking about the experience with, big girls buying wedding dresses. Okay. And then she comes out and tells us that she been lying. that she loved him so much and she didn't want to lose him. She lied and has been evasive and indecisive about whether or not she wants to have any children. She says that, her mom treated her poorly, and she believes that she doesn't have the skill set to raise a baby and to have children. She doesn't think that she's going to be a good mom. Then don't have children. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Y'all know I'm going to throw me a good old scripture out there. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Don't have no babies. Why are you lying and got the man on knowing? She told her girlfriends, and her girlfriends agreed that this would be something that would destroy their relationship. Now here you have this life-changing, altering decision, and you wait until weeks before the wedding. Mallorie don't need to have kids. If she sees in herself, because of what she's been through, her mother don't have none. She should even have dated a man that wanted children as much as Rasit did. Now, I was with her on the prenup, but I'm not with her on this. You lied and you deceived him to make him think that you don't want that you made him think that there was a possibility when you know it's not. If you think you're going to be cruel to kids, especially your own, don't create them. Her girlfriends tell her that she needs to tell him about it. She tells him about it, has a conversation with him about it, and he's devastated. He doesn't know what to do at this point because he said that he had, what, 8 or 9 brothers and sisters and 18 or 19 nieces and nephews, and he just wants his parents to say, that's Raz's kids. And why would you take that away from him? You already knew beginning of the season that you did not want children. So you knew every time that you went to go and visit him, you didn't want children. And then you wait and say, I don't want to lose. That's so manipulative. It's so deceitful. I was like, don't have no children. Live off your little accounts. Get your prenup and do what you got to do. I was so disappointed in her because that's a big deal to somebody who wants children. And he just wants his own children. He's watched everybody in his family have children, and he just wanted his own. And you gonna possibly rob him of that? And then he got to sleep, in my opinion, with one eye open when you do have them, to make sure that you don't turn into the monster you said your mom was. It's so unfair. I lost like mad respect for Mallory this episode because I just think it's just deceitful. Coming around the mountain when she come. Asia, Asia, Asia. Africa, specifically Nigeria, has a horrible reputation for swindlers. The way that Asia has represented this relationship is why Rod feels the way that he does. Asia's a big mouth and she know everything. And she thinks that she can talk her way out of stuff and talk people into stuff to believe her. Asia believes that if she said it, God said it, and that settles it. And that's just not how life goes. Now, last week we saw her having a conversation with Rod. She tells Rod, deceive my family, bring them down here and act like you don't know why you being here. Now, this is the girl that been in church, speaking in tongue, spazzing out, down at the park with a prophet. The Holy Ghost so strong down there, they got all the birds coming to the yard. I mean, she's saved, she's sanctified, she's fire baptized, speaking in the Holy Ghost. But she has Rod to deceive her sisters to come down there without telling her what's going on. They say she always come up with this stuff. And she tell us to go come somewhere or go somewhere and we go. That's on y'all. So she is convinced that with all her education, because she says she's a doctor, she's a pharmacist. Not to say that she's not a doctor, okay? Okay, because y'all know my daughter's in pharmaceutical, but I'm just saying. So she's carrying it around like she's an ER doctor. So she is the family in the car. The family is tired. They get to the house. They get a good night's sleep. Because I saw them coming to the house. But then later on, they was down at the hotel. So maybe the hotel won't rally. Don't remember. So she's got the family. They're all going down to the beach to go and meet Maxwell's family. They don't know why they're coming. They go and meet Maxwell's family, who was phony AF. And I mean, when they put on the smiles, that's what convinced me that this is fake. Because that sister hasn't had really anything positive to say about Asia. But oh, she is the ambassador. She's the welcome committee and the ambassador of hospitality. And I sat like this. I said, so she is the ambassador here. She is a whole welcome committee. She got a big smile on her face and she jumps up and hugs Asia and everybody. I said, look at that. Asia smiling. She playing the game. They all playing the game. And I looked at I had a picture and I was trying to like clear the picture for him, right? Because I was like, his acne is so bad. He has oh my God, ulcers on his face. He literally has ulcers on his face. Because when you drop it in this app that I use, you could ask it to clear it up, do certain things like when you're doing your thumbnails and stuff. He actually has ulcers. I was, oh, let me see. What you say, Miss Pam? Hey, Pam. Hey, everybody. Hey, see Becky. Hey, Azelle. Hey, shout out to the members. Hey, y'all. I agree, Auntie. Maxwell family was so fake with just telling. Thank you, Pam, for that cosign because I was like, they ain't never been like this. There are memes out on social media, Miss Pam, with this woman face looking all 25 different ways nasty, and the sister. And that honey, Pam, was she not the welcome committee? Was she not the ambassador for Nigeria? Was she? I said, look at this. And you know what Maxwell do? He sit there and show all his 38 teeth. He don't say much, but when he say something, it's ignorant as shit. Hey, Ruth. She is kind of manipulative and gets her way with her family. She's nice, but I think she's too sure of God's plan for her life, and I think gets ahead of God's plan for her. For her, just my opinion. I'm thinking you talking about Asia. She's kind of manipulative and gets her way with her family. She's nice, but I think she's too. Think you talking about Aisha. Honey, the sister was just gracious. Even when she sat there and checked Rod. But you can look around, and get your impression. Oh, no, no fraud. We don't have any fraud. That isn't even named among our family. No fraud. You sure? Asia gets the family there and tells them why they're there, allegedly, that she's getting married. And she wants us to believe that her sisters has not been in contact with the TLC staff. She wants us to, let me look this way so I can hide behind my head. Asia wants us to believe that her sisters did not know that they was coming to a show because she's on a show called 90-Day Fiancé. She wants us to believe that her sisters went all the way to Nigeria and they don't know that she's getting married. That she's on the show where she's about to marry a foreigner. She don't know that the sisters know that this is the same dude that allegedly she's been dating all these years. So this is what y'all decide. Let me tell you something. 90-Day Fiance followers. We may be a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for continuing to watch this season after season, but we are some of the smartest people on God's earth. You ain't gonna have me flying 10, 12, 18 hours nowhere and I don't know where I'm going and why I'm going. You mean to tell me that as tight as her and her three sisters supposed to be, they didn't know she was in Nigeria to go and see Maxwell? Stop. I hate for somebody to act like I'm stupid. So she tells the sisters that, she's there. Rod is sitting there looking. Rod can't believe it. But Asia is the smartest one in the room. So she tells them that she's going to do the K1 visa and they're going to get married and that's why they're there. And the sisters was like, well, why would you hide that from us? The older sister looked like she old enough to be age. She said, why would you hide that from us? You're supposed to be a Christian girl. So she tells them her plan is to marry him. The sister say, well, what if they deny? Well, with everything, there's a possibility that, you can, they can deny it and everything, They asked Rob, what did you think? What did you think about him? Rob said, yeah, you must have did a whole lot of tricks to convince Asia to do this. Rod is on to him. Rod said he don't even think the man can afford nothing. And then come to find out, he's just like Michael Ilazami. He's buying and selling probably trash cars. I don't know. But he said he buys and he sells. He says that Nigerians work harder than Americans because they are auto mechanics. We have tools that do all of the stuff, the work, and they use their hands. And so because they do manual labor, and we have used technology to do something smarter, and why we don't work hard. Kiss my I'm behind. He has not said anything positive even on TikTok about Americans, especially American women. Now, one thing. Now, one thing. When I watch him on TikTok, I always got something nasty to say on his page. I don't care how many times I go to the page. He hates black women. You not gonna tell me no difference. That's my opinion. He talks about black women constantly, and it is not in a positive way. So, Asia, you got exactly what you said God told you. When I don't believe that, I think you use religion as a shield. I don't believe that you believe what you saying out your mouth, but you believe, because when people start talking religion, you back up. Okay, you said God said, okay. Asia gonna be right. When Maxwell said he was doing these cars, Ross said, how much you got in your bank account? And now he's offended. That's disrespectful. But his middle name is Greatness. His dad is an electrician. The dad sitting up there talking about he want 4 kids. The mother sitting up there smiling. The sister smiling. The sister all poised and everything. I said, they are playing this. They are playing this. He is the dream. He is the dream. He is the gateway. And Asia, when asked about what his job was, well, I'm doing his resume, so I'm going to go through the thesaurus. He is an auto broker, and he's just so. Ron was like, so you going to talk for your man? You going to talk for your husband? And he just grinning. You know what, Rod? I see that you're curious about some things. So, we're going to have a good time getting to know somebody. Let me tell you something. Like Rod said, it's going to be what it's going to be until it ain't. Until a mask fall off of him. Rod is not stupid about what's going on. And ain't no way in the world that Asia had not already planned on marrying this guy, and she got her mother out there who seems a little, she's aging and she needs some assistance. Ain't no way in the world those girls did not know why their mother was going to Africa. Stop playing in our face. The mother is all but in a wheelchair. So it's evident that this is already was planned for her to get married to him. She had already made the decision. Her sisters just couldn't get off work. So they was like, we're going to go later in the week. Stop playing in our face. I have friends that go over to Africa. They love Africa. And I've got to go over there and get to Miss Pam's. But ain't no way in the world that you're going to go to Africa and you ain't planned it. You planned it. So they ain't got plan on face. But one thing for sure, Rod is going to embarrass him. Rod is fully aware this man doesn't have money. If you go back to maybe two or it was about two, maybe two or three of my reviews on this, I told you all that he lives in what they call in Africa the red zone. The reason why they are in an Airbnb is because his where he lives has been zoned unsafe for production and everybody else to be there. Go back gosh, I think it's two or three reviews. And I break it all the way down. What the green zone is, what the red zone is, and he lives in the red zone, which means that he lives in a place that they have deemed unsafe. And you laying up in an Airbnb that Asia probably took her money and paid for. You know, maybe the parents put the deposit down, but they ain't paying for all the nights they did. That's my opinion. I hope Asia gets everything that she needs and everything that she wants. I give this marriage, after he comes here to the United States, because I believe he's here, I give this 3 years. I give this 3 years before he got his family over there and he done left her downtown to the church. Anyway, y'all, that is the end of my review. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it. If you like what you've heard here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that every time I go live, you go live with me. I love you all so much. And until we meet again, y'all be safe in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.